Good morning on this cold Saturday morning, just out for my son's football match. So having a walk around the park first. I just wanted to mention about a few things people have said to me about they'll see a role maybe that I share in the LinkedIn group or they just see a role generally and they don't apply for it. They don't contact the recruiter because they look at the spec, they look at the description of the role and it doesn't 100% match them, their skills, their experience. And now what you've got to realise is that sometimes when a recruiter from a hiring manager or a client, they put out a spec, that could be like a wish list. That's their dream ideal role that they're advertising for. So they may want someone who's got all these different skills, all this different experience. They might know that that person probably doesn't exist. What you got to realise is sometimes it'll be that that's their ideal gap that they're trying to fill, and they're trying to see if they can get this ideal candidate who's got all those skills and all that experience. But they might soon realise that that's actually two people. So back in the day, years ago, I might see a role, for example, that's a monitoring engineer, which is what I do. But it also might say they want someone with database skills. Well, that person doesn't generally exist. You're either a database specialist, a DBA, or you're a monitoring specialist. You don't usually have those two things combined. So if I saw a job that was advertised saying DBA and monitoring, I could look at that and go, oh, I don't really have the DBA skills, so I won't apply. So I've actually done myself a disservice there, because now the recruiter and the hiring manager don't see me. They don't get to see my CV. They don't get to see my LinkedIn profile. They don't get to know that I exist because I haven't bothered to apply. So my advice is, when you see a role that has a multitude of skills and experience that they want, think of it like that's their ideal shopping list. That's their wish list. That's their Christmas list, right? They're not going to necessarily get everything on their Christmas list. But if you apply and are honest with what you can do and what your skills are and what your experience is, and also, as I always say, be confident in what you don't know. I'm not a DBA, but I would still apply for that role and say, look, I'm a monitoring specialist. I don't believe you're going to get somebody who's got all that skill set. I recommend you put me forward for this role, and try and push your CV forward that way. And I've done that in the past, and they say, oh yeah, they realise this is actually a dream list, a dream Christmas list of things they want in an ideal candidate, and they know they probably won't get it. So it actually might end up being 2 roles, or it could be 3 roles, for example. So if you see a role like that where it's got some of the skills you've got, I would suggest applying for the role, because it might be they're looking for more than one person, but it also gets you on the recruiter's radar. And if they then put you forward to the end client, you're on the end client's radar, and they might go, right, actually, I've got Dave here who's a monitoring guy, I've got Bob here who's a DBA, I reckon we'll offer both of those people the roles. So don't ignore roles just because they have a multitude of skills and experience that they're asking for, because that could include you and someone else, okay? Hope that's useful. Have a fantastic day.